All right, everybody. Hope you're all doing great. Welcome to the UFC Vegas 111 post-fight show here on MMA Fighting.com. And that was certainly a card that happened. As like when we go back through the Wikipedias and the Tapologies of the world, when you go back through the archives of MMA Fighting.com, whether it's 5 days from now, 5 weeks from now, months, years, this event, UFC Vegas 111, will have officially happened. So we can hang our hats on that. And those victory drums sound for Gabriel Bonfim, although a little bit of controversy in that main event against Randy Brown. We'll talk about that and a few other things that happened tonight, because this was a pretty forgettable one, if we're being honest. But the good news is we are officially on the way to MSG, UFC 322. The promos hit hard tonight. Everything about UFC 322 has just been magnified by what went down at the world's most famous Apex tonight. And I have to tell you, maybe the funniest moment that I experienced tonight was when they started the UFC post-show. They showed an outside drone shot of the Apex parking lot. No traffic getting out of there. There was like 5 cars exiting the parking lot. I got a big kick out of that because it was very, very quiet in that building. But a man who is joining me today, I am Mike Heck, by the way, to react to this event, who will not be so quiet, is Mr. No Gray Area, the hot take kid himself, the climber of all climbers, a man who surely had a climb bet for a card of this magnitude, Jed. How are we doing? Did you have fun tonight?
Mike, tonight's a tough night. It's a tough night. Because look, I hear the criticisms, Mike. I understand them. And I do functionally believe that we are a better product. We are a more engaging product. Fans have a better time when we aren't pooping all over things. And so I'd like to be positive. There are some positives tonight, and I'm going to try my hardest to focus on those. But of all the forgettable cards that have ever happened, this is right at the top of that heap. We will just unless there's a fight, fixing scandal that happens connected to a fight here, like a la, last weekend. This will be the last time we speak of this card. We're not going to talk about it on BTL
ever again. Again. Only on to the next one. That will be the last time this card is ever spoken about.
I was a little more positive heading into this fight card than I think a lot of other people were. You certainly were. I liked it on paper better than last weekend's. And I do think objectively we got some more meaningful stuff. There were several ranked fighters on this card, but 4 of those ranked fighters were competing on the undercard, which, I guess the main card was at least all finishes, and there's some things, but it really, what struck me this tonight, Mike, in a way that maybe I've internalized before, but never really came out tonight, is how much my viewing experience for cards that I'm not interested in, which is what this was, right? And I think that is not even being critical. I think that is a fair representation of this card to all people. Nobody was telling their friends, hey man, you got to check out this fight card this weekend. Even the hardcore fans here with us, and God, we love each and every one of you for being here for this post show right now and for listening later if that's what you're doing. I think all of you could acknowledge, whether you enjoyed tonight or not, your Saturday was not built around this event, right? Nobody's was. This was, I got nothing else to do. I like fights. I just want to kick back in my recliner. I had a long week of work. I want to chill out, have a few beers, watch some punchies. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But what struck me, Mike, is for me, and I would bet, and chat, if you agree with what I'm about to say, please let me know, because I would bet that it's true. It struck me that for events like that, momentum of the card is such a big thing for my enjoyment of it. And I don't that never really translated to me, but as I look back, it kind of makes more sense because this thing just never got out of first gear until the main card when stuff started to happen. But by then, I had just sort of been already drugged down into the muck. And so at that point, even though the tires are spinning, now they're not even getting traction. Now we're just here. And so objectively, CLD Marco Tullio, well, it was pretty cool. Like CLD's on a run right now, spinning back fist into a really nasty KO. Like that was objectively cool. And as I was watching it, I was still just like, not really registering with me, man. And then you follow that up with the Bonfim stuff, and there's a downer. Frankly, I think we'll talk about that fight a little more than anything else tonight. I could never get up. I could never get into it. And so I do not mean to disrespect any of the fighters on this card, especially the ones who got big wins.
It's not their fault.
This was a real tough watch for me. And I don't know. I genuinely wonder if other people feel this way, because it really stood out to me of like, man, some of the stuff that's happening here is not bad, right? Like objectively. And I just can't emotionally connect with it because I'm already over here right now.
Yeah, and Lazy Bed kind of laid it out the same exact way I felt about it in these two little things right here. It's shocking an event can have this amount of finishes and still be somehow not very entertaining. It felt like every fight ended and I was just like, oh, okay, that happened. That's how it felt. That's how it felt. And I'm sorry, like that is it's the building more than anything else. Like the commentators were down tonight. Like this was even a bad night for Paul Felder. Like even he was down in the dumps. Like there's no energy to it at all. Like usually you can rely on Fitz and Felder and whoever the third man is. They weren't even like into this one. Like it just was tough, man. It was tough. And for this card to end the way that it did, in just such a weird way, was just like icing on the cake. And we're going to talk about some stuff. Like I was looking forward to like jumping on here and being like, all right, we're going to mic check like every fighter on the card. I only have two. There's only two. One is okay and one is terrible. And then the rest of the card, like it was just sad. And I'm sure we'll get into it as well. This is the one thing I will blame on some of the fighters. And we'll get to that in a moment. But let's just start with the main event, because I can assure you we're not going to be here that long. Again, this is a card that
I can't assure you of that. We say this all the time, Mike,
no.
and we fail.
Oh no, Casey ain't here no more. We are not going to be here very long. I have the control of the ones and twos. I will just hit end stream when we hit 30 minutes. Like I'll just do it. But it's all right. But let's get into the main event. Gabriel Bonfim gets the win, and it's he had a great first round. He was picking the legs apart. You could tell Randy Brown was feeling it, even walking back to the stool heading into round two. And then we get the knee. And the knee lands from Bonfim. And I'm doing social media stuff. I'm basically doing 3 jobs at once. I have to look for tweets for the pros react. I'm doing social media.
Doing
all this stuff.
Don't pretend that one's a job. Ain't no pros reacting to this card. You can't act like you're doing a lot of work on that one.
Dude, it's way more work when no one's watching.
There ain't nobody doing. You just got to give up.
No, there's no giving up. You have to dig deep.
Not happening.
You got to dig deep because you got to find 5 of them, and you have to go through all the social medias. There weren't more than 6 fighters watching this event. But anyways, the knee happens, and I thought it was a double knockout at first. The way I saw it out of the corner of my eye.
Yes, it was very confusing in that situation for sure.
So and then I'm like, oh, it's a double knockout, and then I see Bonfim quickly get up and jump towards Randy Brown. And Mark Smith, who, by the way, almost allowed Marco Tullio to lose 150 brain cells by not stopping the fight at the time he should have when that fight happened, just jumped in and stopped this one. Randy Brown immediately protests. He goes down, he turtles up, protests, and the fight is over. Your thoughts on the stoppage? And we've seen replays, we've heard people talk about it, etc. Were you okay with the stoppage? Was this a fine stoppage? Was this a bad stoppage? Where are you with this?
I've shifted my opinion. In real time, I was also a little confused and thought it was a double knockdown. Then immediately I thought that it was a bad stoppage. I've watched it a billion times now. I think it's fine. It's not to stop it. I wouldn't have made the stoppage. But I don't think it's awful. I understand it certainly because if you go back and watch it, the difference maker to me is at first blush, I thought that he jumped in early because frankly, I thought he was letting it go and then jumped in after Randy Brown like clearly had woken up. And instead, no, like it just took, like he was clearly trying to stop that fight the moment the knee landed and Brown went back and his eyes were in the back of his head and was functionally not home anymore. And it just took him a minute to get over there. And that is a totally reasonable time to make that stoppage. The fact that Brown hit his head and woke up doesn't invalidate that effort. I always am on the side of letting one more shot happen because I don't think one more strike is very unlikely to be majorly damaging in like a super long-term fashion. It's never good to get punched in the head at all. But this isn't boxing where it's a standing 10 count and you're going to take 100 more shots. Like one follow-up shot. I mean, frankly, part and parcel, right? The Tulio stoppage. Objectively, he should have stopped that one punch sooner. I didn't even think twice about it. I was like, okay, yeah, like clearly watching this, it shouldn't. And that does make it weird that he let that one go and didn't let this one go, the one extra punch. But ultimately, I don't think the outcome was changed. I think, Bonfim would have landed some shots and probably finished that fight. And I do think it's a perfectly reasonable stoppage to make, given the knowledge he had at the time. It is a bit tough for Randy Brown to have woken up, right? And, I woke up and I could at least functionally defend myself. And the speed with which he got up to protest suggests that he may have actually even had a chance to, survive the oncoming barrage from Bonfim. But he ate a knee and his eyes rolled back in his head. You can't really be that upset with that stoppage in the aggregate.
Yeah, this is one of those. I feel like we've had a dozen post-fight shows this year where our answer is kind of the same. Wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst we've ever seen either. I'm fine with it either
fine.
way.
I think it's totally fine. It's just it's not how I would have stopped it, but I don't have an issue with the stoppage at all after watching it again.
I do think if Mark Smith was not the referee for CLD Tulio, I think that fight maybe goes on for a little bit longer.
It is really a weird 2-pack to watch really those is. Two. They are the reactions are so different. Like, and maybe it is that one informs the other. On it, like it is perhaps exactly as you're suggesting that Mark Smith like went back, saw the replay, was like, oh, I should have jumped in there 1-2. Tulio took one too many, and so he was just a little bit quicker this time to jump in and make the save as opposed to seeing the outcome. It didn't change. I don't think it changed the outcome. Totally fine stoppage.
Yeah. Good win for Bonfim. We'll touch on his call out, which he has. I mean, if there is literally
we need to talk about it. I'm interested.
Okay. Please. Gabriel Bonfim. If you guys missed it, Gabriel Bonfim, and he's been doing this for a while, passionately called out Colby Covington for a fist fight, which in any other organization is a sensical, meritocratic matchup to make. But this is the Ultimate Fighting Championship. There is zero. I mean, I don't know what number you could like realistically use, like a whole number less than zero. But if there was one that existed, I would use it right here. But your thoughts on this call out of Colby Covington?
I mostly just I'm curious, this is your thing. This is the thing you specialize in. I broadly think that it's a bad call out, like in the big picture, because it's very, 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 very unlikely to happen. But there are two things to note. I've voiced this opinion at other points in time as well. I give some credence to repetition, if nothing else, right? And it's become his shtick in a lot of ways. And so I think it's really, really stupid and terrible when Joaquin Buckley calls out Conor McGregor in a fight that he's never going to get. I would have thought it was a lot funnier and at least like more palatable if he just did it every fight. And I do think it does like add up to something because like who else is going to call out? I don't know. That'll be for you to decide. So there's a part of me that at least has some respect for like committing to the bit because you know me, Mike. I'm a man who can commit to the bit. I write for MMA Fighting. It's a great website. But like, so there's that piece of it. But then the piece that I'm interested in, Mike, and what I want your opinion on, what jumped out to me, again, I don't think this fight will happen because I just don't think there's a universe where Colby Covington fist fights him. Like, why would Colby choose to do that? I don't know that Colby's ever going to fight again. Maybe he does, and I don't know. But what was interesting to me, Mike, is usually he makes the call out, and then we're like, okay, cool. And I would say, honestly, I had a bigger issue with Gabriel Bonfim not knowing when to cut it off because he just kept going. Like he went back to Felder 2 separate times to get more mic time. It's like, buddy, they're playing you off the stage. You got to get out of here, bro. But Felder went back to him and asked because he did hey, here's me talking through the thing. And, this is the finish. I was going to kick the calves. I knew it opened up the knee, and Colby Covington quit running. Brazil, Viva Brazil, or whatever. And instead of Paul Felder doing the Daniel Cormier, the job to be like, hey, great win. Give it up for Gabriel Bonfim. He was like, and what would happen, Gabriel, if you got that fight? Trying to sell that fight more. And so to me, I don't know. I kind of took that to be like, maybe this is something the UFC is at least interested in, and they're going to try to give him an opportunity to put it over in a way that maybe appeals to Colby. So am I crazy? Is that something?
Here's what I will say. Because I think there's probably some people out there who agree with you. And normally when a post-fight interviewer follows up, especially something like
somebody's in their ear, right?
Somebody's in their ear. Unless it is a guy who knows how to actually do post-fight interviews and ask follow-up questions. Paul Felder is the best post-fight interviewer the UFC has ever had, by the way. The history of the company, Paul Felder is the best post-fight interviewer that they have had because he asks questions, he listens, and he asks follow-ups. This is not Bisping or DC who are verbatim asking questions that are being told to them in the headset. Paul Felder has talked about this before. It's not that he goes rogue, it's just that he's good at this. And what I think happened was this is him saying, wow, this is not a fighter begging for a bonus or trying to like lay out a sob story. This is a fighter. Only the second fighter tonight, by the way, who actually had a call out, like a somewhat of a call out, was Gabriel Bonfim. And this is Felder being like, oh my God, something like kind of maybe interesting is happening right now in these post-fight interviews. Let's expound on this because I haven't experienced this feeling the entire night. So I think it's more to that. Now, if Bisping was holding the microphone or DC was holding the microphone, I would tend to agree with you more. That this is the producer saying like, okay, go. This is great. This is great stuff. Ratings are going to go higher. We're about to get a boost. Keep this thing going. But Felder's just really good at this. So that's how I look at it. But
I am going to guess. I believe there's something to it. Not that this fight's going to happen because I don't know what it would take to get Colby to do it. But I will also say this, Mike, and I don't want to make you talk too much about this because you have a wonderful program called On to the Next One where you will talk all about what comes next for Gabriel Bonfim. But we did talk about this a little bit in the build up to this, and I even had some questions about it on the mailbag stuff this week of like, what's Bonfim do if he wins? Is he going to jump into the mix of the young, hungry dudes? It's like, no, not really. Welterweight's got too many dudes already at the top of the table right now. And he didn't even have a convincing win over Wonder Boy. This win, I know there is the controversy. It's certainly a better win. And like you said at the top of the show, right? Colby Covington does make sense historically in the way that, this sort of thing would normally happen. This is going to be a hot take, Mike. I think it could happen. I think it could happen because I don't know who Colby would fight. if he's going to keep fighting, and maybe he doesn't, and I think that's possible, but I got to tell you, I will be pretty surprised if he isn't fighting at the White House card.
Yeah.
And
it's not going to be against him.
Who's he going to fight at the White House card?
He will fight.
He's going to fight somebody.
Yeah. There's 3 more reasonable choices in the world of how Colby views things, how Donald Trump would view things, and how Dana White would view things in the matchmakers. One, Stephen Thompson. That I think is the favorite.
Okay, I do think that is possible. I'll give you that one.
I think it's
give me the other 2.
The silver medalist is Gilbert Burns.
I think I disagree entirely on that one.
Why?
Okay.
2 guys who literally are out of the title picture but have relevant names and have fought for belts. Fight makes all the sense of the world.
I don't think that makes sense for the UFC. Why do they care about booking that fight?
Right, but if they're going to book Colby against a Brazilian fighter that is ranked at welterweight, they're going to use Gilbert Burns and not Gabriel Bonfim.
No, I think they. I honest to God, my thought here is okay, maybe we can get some juice out of somebody by killing Colby. I don't really give a shit if it's at the White House. They don't care. They don't care about Colby winning at the White House. Donald Trump doesn't even really like him. It's not like you got to do him a service. I think the Wonder Boy one's real. That totally makes sense. I don't buy Burns at all.
That's definitely in play. Number 3 is a rematch with Masvidal.
Do that. So I think that's true, or I can see that. Dana's been really not interested in Jorge Masvidal, so I don't know. I can see Wonder Boy. I'm saying I think this has some ability to happen, just because Colby's not really in a position to call shots, and Colby will want to fight at the White House card, and so they can make him fight kind of anybody.
Yeah, but are you going to put Gabriel Bonfim on the White House card?
Sure, he's just a dude. He's a random dude. It doesn't matter.
Turning this. You have promised this is going to be better than UFC 300, and we're going to do this.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it is going to be better. It's going to have Conor and John Jones. The rest of this card does not matter. The rest of this card does not matter. They put Colby. Again, I wouldn't say it's a 20%. I don't think it's 0.
I would do Michael Chiesa over Bonfim, honestly.
God.
Mike Malott
would be better, but
D-Rod would be better.
I actively don't think they'd book Mike Malott because I don't think they would care about Bonfim beating Colby. I don't think they want a Canadian dude to beat Colby. I think Donald Trump would not like a Canadian fighter to beat Colby at the White House.
I mean, but they like Mike Malott. He's a Nelk guy. He's got the sponsorship going. They might just be like, Dana, give it to him.
I could buy Wonder Boy. I think they're going to sacrifice him on the White House lawn. And I don't know who that, because it's what he's going to be. And who else is going to be? It could, I guess, be, I shot. It could be somebody else. But because Colby's not going to fight Gabriel Bonfim just at an Apex card. He ain't doing that. But he wants to fight the White House. They can kind of make him fight whoever. I think this is a 5%er to happen.
I think that's very generous, but that's good.
Okay, if I end up being right,
listen, we spent 12 minutes on this, which means you did a good job.
If I end up being right, we're gonna clip this, and I'm taking a victory lap in June.
What we just did over just discussing
did a better
Gabriel
job of selling this than
we did. That was more interesting than the entire event right there. So we did that. That is more memorable than what we watched at the Apex tonight, and I feel very strongly about that. But here's what I think I'm just gonna get right into this, Jed. I mean, we've already kind of brought it up.
Is it Joseph Morales?
Oh no. Hold on one second. It's time. Woo. It's mic check time. We are here, episode 2. Here on the
mic check with Mike Heck, baby. Let's go.
Mic check with Mike Heck. We're talking about the callouts and things that were said on the microphone, and that's going to lead us to honestly the other biggest takeaway that has come from this event, which is something that Jed led to. But here we go. Let's start with Gabriel Bonfim. Let's give it a grade. Let's make it official. Again, good performance. It was a good win. He does go get the finish. Obviously, it was a little questionable, but it's not like a robbery stoppage by Mark Smith. despite what Jed said, and he made a compelling case. That's the lawyer in him. The call out of Colby Covington was terrible. There's zero chance this fight actually happens, and I am on the same boat as a lot of other people that Colby needs to fight or just be taken out of the rankings at this point. And I do think he will probably fight. He'll probably fight at the White House. He will not be fighting Bonfim. And because of Jed actually making this an interesting segment, I was going to give Gabriel Bonfim an F. Not like, I wasn't going to give him an F minus like Steve Garcia, but I'm giving him a D minus. And you could thank Jed Meshew for giving this a D minus. And then the other call out that I will talk about is of course Josh Hokett with obviously the great win, gets the knockout, does it quick. Like literally the first punch he lands, the fight was over. And I said something kind of similar in our Slack channel that like, this is not going to go very well for Jimenez because he's not very good. And Hokett goes out there and clobbers him, and then he gets on the mic and does the memorized nursery rhyme thing. And I have to say, like, I dug it. Like, it was fun. It was kind of on point. It was a little long, but he's done way longer promos, so he's getting a little bit better. The call out of Walter Walker was really good, and I thought to myself heading in, because there was zero chance that Jimenez was winning this fight in my eyes. I figured Hokett would finish him quick. And for Hokett to do the right thing, there were two names to call out. And one of them he got. And it was Walter Walker got an immediate response. And the thing I think that really took away from this wasn't like a cringy one. It wasn't in bad taste. He didn't say anything horrible. And got the dude's attention. A guy who's kind of hot in the heavyweight division right now. So A minus for Josh Hokett, especially after doing what he was supposed to do. And Jed, we talk about this all the time. These Apex cards, if we're going to make them a little bit more palatable, you book fights like this. This is WWF Superstars, baby. This is The Undertaker against Barry Horowitz. This is a squash match. This is a squash match. The second they booked it, the UFC knew immediately this is a squash match. They got everything they wanted here, and Hokett did the right thing with the call out. The problem is that someone actually kind of tweeted this out, is he kind of has like the Chael like mannerisms, but he comes off like Colby. And that like isn't as likable as he could be. Dude. There's something a little off about it, but this is way better than Contender Series 1.
I have complicated thoughts about that statement, which I don't know that I would have unpacked. I think Josh Hokett is a good lesson for other fighters. I don't agree with the statement that he has the Chael thing. He's just Colby, and we'll see where that shifts. Right, Colby politicized himself, and I frankly think it was a really good career move. I've written about this for our site. Whether you stand on his politics or not, Colby Covington was using the Chael Sonnen playbook, and he was never good at it because he is not a performer, and that's just the fact of it. Like I am not here to be mean to Colby Covington because I don't need to be. He is a bad performer. Chael used a pro wrestling playbook, and it was stale at times. Like, so not everything Chael did landed. But Chael has natural charisma. He has always had natural charisma. And Chael, I've been following this sport back before anybody knew who Chael was. Back when Chael sucked and was on the regionals, and when Chael was getting tapped in the WEC, I was following the sport. And Chael did not get over, despite being like a very solid fighter, not an A-plus fighter, but like a B-plus kind of guy. And he never got over until he adopted the pro wrestling stuff. And I don't know whether this is like he had writers and stuff, like he had people help him do this, but he can pull it off, right? Like it is the difference between watching like an actual actor act and like a high school student's drama performance, right? Like and that's it. Like Colby has no natural charisma and no ability to make the shtick work. And because he couldn't do the Chael stuff as well, he then pivoted into more of a political alignment to just graft onto that fan base. And I think that worked really well. Hokett, clearly looks like he's going to make that push at one point in time. I think he has a little bit more natural charisma than Colby, but I do not believe he really has natural charisma in that fashion.
He actually does. Like, honestly,
He's
he
got
does.
more than Colby, but like maybe charisma is not the right word. He's not a natural performer. It was very clear that he had rehearsed his post fight, and I'm fine. I think the post fight was solid, right? But it's hard to do that, and he didn't dazzle with it, right? But it didn't matter, and that's the thing that I want fighters to learn from. Like, there's one thing that like we're talking about all the time on this show, and that people will give me flack for, and there are some criticisms, right? You have such a limited opportunity to stand out, to advance yourself. And it is advancing yourself because, like, yes, man, you can be Steve Garcia. That's a hard road to walk, baby. Like
very hard.
That's a hard road to walk. But if you can find anything, and it doesn't have to be good because there's so few of it in the sport. Don't everybody be Conor McGregor, but find your own way to turn the dial up, to express yourself, to be more expressive in any capacity. And you can be Josh Hokett, who maybe has a little bit of charisma, but mostly what he had was a plan, right? He's like, okay, I'm going to go on Contender Series and I'm going to do this thing and I will stand out. I will not say the name, but we were talking to somebody earlier this evening who was like, is Josh Hokett that dude off Contender Series who did X? And like, my stance, Mike, not all publicity is good publicity. In this sense, it is, because you have to find a way to break through the noise of 50 Contender Series signees. And he did it. And he comes in and he does this. He gets a squash match, gets over with it. And, some people didn't care for his post fight, or they're like, it's lame and try hardy. Yes, that's okay. A lot of what Chael did was lame and try hardy too. And it won't all land. I got to tell you, Mike, not every bit I do lands, but you just sort of keep chopping wood and it gets you. And maybe he doesn't get Walter Volkov this, right? Like, that may well not happen, but he got a response.
I think he gets it.
I'd say maybe he does. Maybe the UFC is like, you know what? Let's do it. And if he beats Walter Walker, he's immediately a ranked heavyweight. And if he doesn't, okay, he got a little bit of shine, and now we can build him a little more slowly, but he's still a person of interest. You have got to find a way in this sport to make yourself a person of interest, because yes, you can Bilal Muhammad it. You can Leon Edwards it. That is such a hard road to walk. And for every one of them, for every Leon Edwards, for every Movsar Evloev that exists, there are 10 Randy Browns who are like, yeah, pretty solid dude, but he had to win 8 in a row to get anywhere, and sometimes you're just going to lose to a dude, and then you're cooked. Fighters need to learn this, and this can transition into honestly the biggest point I want to make about the whole evening. The only thing I think about from this evening is like, please stop asking for money. Like, God bless Taco Padilla. I feel for him. I wish he had gotten a bonus. One, asking for a bonus is the fastest way to make them not want to give you a bonus. And two, you may need the money. They're not going to give it to you because you asked for it. These are no longer the days of Conor McGregor 50 G's, baby. And this is your one opportunity to stand out in any meaningful way. And you have to find a way to do something with it. And begging for cash that they are going to be less incentivized to give you is not the way to do it.
It's super annoying. It's super frustrating.
All of it's bad. Like, I hate all of it. And I straight up, like, not even making this a fighter pay issue, which is a separate thing, and everybody probably understands my stance on it at this point. I remove that part of it. I'm not saying we need to pay fighters more. You need to remove performance bonuses, because this has to stop. From a promotional standpoint, this is bad. It has been bad for years, because this is the only sport in the whole widest of worlds that ESPN or CBS Paramount is broadcasting, where after what should be a big, glorious victory, A fighter is asking for a handout, and they're not even asking for a lot. This is like there's about to be an F1 race tomorrow. And if Lando Norris goes and wins the F1 race tomorrow, he is not going to get on the podium and do his post-fight interview and say, man, really glad to get this victory. It's huge for my championship aspirations. I'm not looking ahead to Las Vegas. What I'm looking forward to is trying to get my mom like rent money. So can you give me $20K? Like it is awful to see professional athletes begging for money, which is absolutely, like, it is directly what is happening. It's really awful for you, a multi-billion-dollar industry who's owned by a much bigger multi-billion-dollar industry, for them to be begging for a small amount of money. It's not a small amount for you or me, right? Like that would be a huge amount of money for me, certainly, right? But that is in the context of professional athletics. 50 grand is I don't know, that nothing. Like how Shohei Ohtani makes that in like one at bat, and they're like, this would demonstrably help my family get out of poverty. Please pay me 50 grand. It is a horrible look for them. And on top of just it being bad promotionally, the product is worse because of it. Outside of that, it looks bad. Like casual observers might be like, that's kind of trashy that this is happening. Then the fighters aren't getting themselves over. You're not building more interesting stars or setting up more fights, because Taco Padilla, who's on a great run right now and just had a good win over a dude who blew weight by 6 pounds or whatever, he's talking about, I need cash, as opposed to being like, hey man, yeah, I'm on this great heater. I'm looking forward. So just get rid of performance bonuses. They're outdated and stupid. Pay everybody a flat fee. Get rid of win bonuses. Pay everybody a flat fee. Kick that fee up from your thing. Split the difference and pay a finish bonus. Nobody has to ask for money if everybody who gets a finish gets a bonus. They try to finish fights more. Everything's better. And the product is better in all facets of it. It's so hard to watch cards like this because it stands out so much more. Like it is just straight trashy. And I don't mean that as an assault on Taco Padilla. I genuinely have sympathy for him in my heart. I think he is a good fighter. That is not a condemnation of him. It is a condemnation of the product that a professional athlete is begging for money, and this is normalized. It like Miguel. What was who's the dude who hit the home run in the 9th inning of the World Series? Miguel Rojas.
Yeah, Rojas.
Yeah,
Doesn't
like
hit a lot of home runs.
Doesn't hit home runs. That dude. I'm sure he's making a lot of money as an MLB player, but he's not Shohei Ohtani. Like, can you imagine if after he does that and they're doing his post-fight, like, hey, or his post-game, like, hey, man, you never hit home runs. Like, this is great, awesome thing. He's like, yeah, man, it's super great to get this big win. Hey, Dodgers, can you pay me like 10 grand so I can get my car out of Hawk? I got towed. Like, it's so trashy, dude. It's so trashy.
And it's so bad that, like, Taco, like, has this heartfelt moment and like talks about this stuff, and then he says, and then we know he's not going to get it because he asked for it. Yeah, and that's just sad. That's just really sad.
That's the other side of it. It's not the promotional side where it's just like, Taco's been doing this for long enough. Taco knows people who knows things. You can't. I don't know who told you this was a good idea. This was objectively the worst thing you could have said.
If he just went out there and said like, "Thank my family, it was a great win," and then like called out Terrence McKinney or something, he would have got a bonus tonight. Without question, he would have gotten one. He would have got one over Zach Reese. I mean, good for Zach. Like, he comes in on a week's notice, but beat a dude who's probably not UFC ready at the moment. And that's fine. But not because Zach didn't call for a bonus. He gets one. As did Josh Hokett, who you knew he was going to get one. And the last thing I'll say about Josh Hokett was he's the most memorable thing that happened tonight. Like, he is the outside of like the begging for money. He is the if we're looking at this from an NHL at the end of the game tier, he is the 1-star player on this event. Like, I can assure you, just kind of after working with Helwani, Ariel Helwani, the first guest he wants on his show on Monday is Josh Hokett. It ain't Gabriel Bonfim. He's gonna want Josh Hokett on his show on Monday. He did the thing. That's how you do it. CLD got a good win. That was nasty. Great performance from him. He's coming around. He's growing on
Yeah,
me.
that was really good, man. And look, Padilla that's the thing. Padilla had a solid performance. And he's, been an underdog in like every fight and keeps winning them. That rocks. And like that could have been a good moment. Because I will also blame him. That I don't need to do. You heard my thoughts on the UFC on this side of it. Taco can't do you can't do that. That was straight up stupid. You should know better. And he was like pretty close to getting it over. Anyway, like you can say like I need that 50 grand for my mama or whatever. But then the second time when like, hey, what do you want? I want money. Like you could at least try to Moicano it and be like, I want money. I'll fight another dude next week. I don't like his whole post fight. Again, I am begging you. I won't if you are a Taco Padilla level fighter, not in your quality, but in your tenure and the amount of money you're making. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. This is a sincere offer. Reach out. I will help you work through a post fight plan. Like at no charge. I will not charge you $1 to get your career advanced in a better way than this. Because outside of turfing your chance to get 50K, which you absolutely buried it, right? No chance once you said that. And there were other finishes on the card. Like you took away all the momentum and just made it work. Like you made everything bad for yourself. Because you could have just been like, that whole thing should have been like, yeah, man, I'm a professional. I was an underdog again. I think that's stupid. Like the fighters get upset. That's a better line to be like, I was an underdog again. This dude blew weight by 6 pounds. He didn't want to be here. I never miss weight. Beat his ass, and I'll beat the next dude's ass next week if you want to do that. Because that's how I get down. Weight don't matter, baby. Any of that is better than like I need money. No, but seriously, I really need money. I'm not kidding. I need money. Like it was the worst thing he could have done.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have any money to loan you. Well, could I just like have some?
Yeah,
like the
first one's bad and shouldn't happen. The second one is, I like if you're gonna say it, just say do Moicano. Be like, I need money, so let me fight next week, man. I gotta get paid. That's fine.
Joseph Morales got the chance to call somebody out. It was a great performance. He also didn't get a bonus. And told the UFC where to book their cards. Do you not understand at this point, Joseph Morales? This is your second stint with the company. Do you understand that the UFC is not choosing where they're going anymore?
I love it.
They're not choosing it. If Sacramento wants to pay them a whole bunch of money to go, they'll go.
It doesn't seem likely.
I don't think Sacramento's coming up with a whole bunch of money to send them there. So that's where they're going. They're going where the money is. They've basically said it in stockholder calls. If you want to pay us a site fee, we're coming. Unless Dana just likes going to your place. Like, he'll go to Boston like once every 5 years to be like, yeah, I'm from Boston, so we're bringing an event there. But do you think the best just say pay him for that? That's why they don't go as often as they should, even though Boston has like one of the hottest crowds they have every time they go there. But they ain't paying. That's why they don't go. So, sorry, I would mic check that, but it doesn't deserve it, if we're being honest. Uros Medic, good win. Solid performance, good knockout.
Muslim Salikov probably needs to be done with fighting. That was my honest to God takeaway from that fight. It was like, okay, you're 41, and you sure look like it.
He looked old today.
Mm-hmm.
He looked very old. But Medic, good win. No call for him either. It was just, hey, man, I'll fight whoever. As long as I'm healthy, I could beat everybody. Only as long as I'm healthy.
That's also bad. It's still better than Taco.
It's still better than begging for money. But
I truly, honestly believe Taco had the worst post fight of the evening.
It was pretty bad.
Outside, like I also think that it's, systemically bad on the UFC. Every choice he made was incorrect.
Yeah. CLD, good performance. Like I said, he's growing on me. That's what he got a bonus. The Jamal Emmers,
just steadily getting better, man.
Yeah.
CLD,
I don't think he's going to win a belt.
Dude, who kind of just has been chipping away, rock solid.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be like a top 10 middleweight, but he's going to be.
No, but he could make the rankings. Like that's in play for him.
Yeah, I think he could be like the bottom end, like the bottom ish of the top 15. I didn't think that was the case for quite some time. But he's showing me something, and he can show that he can be very fun. So let's get him in there.
He had a very, very good 2025. There is a
The
non-zero.
Pulayev fight is truly one of the worst fights in the history of the middleweight division.
Yeah,
That's not
bad.
good.
That was bad, but he did win it. And then, he got a bonus in his last fight. And did he bonus this fight? Surely he did. Yeah,
Of
so
course.
back-to-back bonuses, like 3 wins, back-to-back bonuses. I have not even begun to start the list. Wouldn't stun me if he was, a third team all violence guy this year.
Wow.
Back-to-back bonuses, and 3 wins, he's certainly an honorable mention if he doesn't make one of the 3 teams. I haven't looked at all who middleweight has going right now is the problem.
Yeah. It's a weird division. Marco Tulio.
Not a lot of dudes.
Marco Tulio is in a pretty good place.
I mean, RDR is certainly on it because he's fought 4 times this year. So, he will make it. But, not a lot of other dudes fought a lot this year at middleweight. So, he could make it.
The Jamal Emmers Hyder Emil fight really kind of hurt my soul because that was the feature prelim and I was actually really excited for that fight. And then, again, the most important thing for Jamal Emmers or anybody else is getting a win.
Get the dub.
But this was tough. This was not a memorable win and a memorable performance.
Basically the only boring fight of Hyder Emil's career. And really, Jamal Emmers doesn't have a lot of boring ones either.
Would have liked seen Ione Barcelos and Ricky Simone get a bonus because that fight was very fun. I enjoyed that one a lot. Barcelos won it, and only 19 people got to see it live. And boy, it felt that way. It was very quiet. The only time the Apex felt like there was any life to it was when Taco was fighting. Because there was people chanting Taco. Taco just brought in the right folks. That was the loudest Apex has ever been.
They were trying to chant for Randy Brown, but he was getting worked over. So
outside, tough. Actually, that's not the loudest the Apex has ever been was when Calvin Kattar beat the shit out of Giga Chikadze. That was the Calvin Kattar show. He brought out all of Boston.
He brought a ton of the Boston folks.
They're all wearing Kattar Mania t-shirts. It was that was about as electric as the Apex has ever been. Was that?
Can I ask you an important question?
Please.
What are they going to do with Ione Barcelos? Because they kind of hate him, but also don't, right? I don't understand what they've done. Is this fight made no sense to me because he beats Peyton Talbot, which should be big. Peyton Talbot is the guy they're pushing. See that he's about to fight Henry Cejudo. Then he gets Cody Garbrandt, which wasn't a bad. It was kind of weird. That felt like a big name for him. And he's old, but okay, you're going to give him Cody Garbrandt. You're giving him a real push then. You're going to see what you got with him. And he beats Cody Garbrandt in Atlanta. Wasn't the best performance ever, but consummate victory over Cody Garbrandt, former champion. And then they're now fight Ricky Simone. This felt like a huge step backwards in the terms of name quality. And so what are we doing? This dude's old. If you're giving him a push him. If you're not, stop. Kind of pushing him. I don't know what's happening.
I think he's foiled their plans twice. So they gave him an unranked guy, and
you think they thought Cody could beat him? So he was the guy Cody could beat.
They said to themselves, he cannot hurt Cody. He might beat him, but he won't hurt him. So if there's any, so they're do we throw Cody in there with Malcolm Wellmaker, who might actually kill him, or do we throw him in there with Ione Barcelos, who people know but won't hurt him? And Cody had a decent first round in that fight, and then the wheels fell off, and Barcelos beat him. And Barcelos also beat Peyton Talbot, which the UFC didn't like that very much. So this was the C. He lost to an unranked guy.
I accept your premise.
Yeah. So I think that's how they were looking at it. And now at this point, it's just all right, I guess we got to kind of run with this, right? See how far it can go. They're not going to rush him into a title fight.
He can't go that far in general. But credit to him. He's put together quite a good win since... Who did he lose to? Kyler Phillips?
Yeah.
But the most recent loss? He's shown me more than I frankly thought to see from him. He's one of those dudes who seems to be getting better despite clearly getting older.
You
And
could
credit to
just
him.
you could use him to run Patchy Mix out of the UFC.
Yeah, that's not awful.
Patchy
Sure.
you can't beat the 41-year-old unranked guy. You're
Yeah,
definitely out of here
give him Marcus McGee. That would be my pick.
for Barcelos.
Yeah, let Barcelos get a shot at a dude who's ranked, and McGee's coming off the loss.
I don't mind that.
So defend position. He's won 4 in a row or whatever over relatively good sized names. Let him get a crack at a number.
Man, this like Bantamweight's interesting.
It's a real weird weight class right now.
I mean, Cheeto wouldn't be a bad one. I wouldn't hate that. Like,
Sure.
it's a 50-50-ish kind of
Cheeto
fight.
because he just physically will do stuff. Cheeto, this is the thing. Like Cheeto can lose to any fighter because he might simply not do anything. He's such a strange dude.
I mean, you could do.
I've never seen a fighter who needs a sports psychologist more, and I can only assume that there's a 0% chance Cheeto would ever go to a sports psychologist. I could be wrong, but that feels like a thing that he would fundamentally be opposed to.
Like, someone said Rob Font. I don't mind that one. Sure. That might actually be my choice.
I think you should give him a guy with a number. He's 4-fight winning streak, all against fairly big names.
Yeah, give him Rob.
I think he deserves a number. Anyone is fine.
I actually wouldn't hate I don't mind Mario Batista either, but I was like really impressed with what Batista did against Umar, so I wouldn't want to drop him like that far.
Say, unless you're just giving Batista, like, because Batista would clearly win that comfortably. So unless that's just a get back fight for Batista, I don't like that.
I think if they give him Rob and he beats Rob, then you can go Batista. But that's kind of the road they're going. They're not gonna like chuck him to O'Malley or anybody like that. Or maybe, I don't know. Depends where O'Malley's at, but yeah. All right. What else happened on this card that I'm completely forgetting about?
Cavalcante won.
Cavalcante won. Hokett won. Gomes won. Apparently, Tisha Pennington is teasing a little bit of retirement, but she didn't actually say it. Daniel Marcos is really good tonight. I would have given him.
Have Cavalcante on their teams?
No,
but AK did have Buena Silva. Oof.
He had a tough draft, man.
Oof.
Golly, tough draft.
I can't believe nobody had Cavalcante. That seems. I mean, there are only like 6 options.
Yeah, I think someone might get her this time. Marcos, maybe. You know what? Daniel Marcos might have. That's the thing. They buried him so like low on the card that like so little happened that I almost like forgot about it.
Dude, they've buried his entire career.
Yeah, dude.
This dude was 18-0 in the promotion, or like in his career, and just kept winning. And they were just like, we don't care.
He smushed Miles John, slept him with that choke. That was nasty. That was really, really impressive.
Yeah,
it was a great.
Honestly, I think it was his best performance in the UFC.
Yeah. And Zach Reese gets the win as well. Okay, let's go to the peeps. We're gonna rifle through some of these.
Seen a couple soups.
Yeah, we got a bunch. Covington Masvidal at the White House makes sense, says Thompson.
Oh, look, I agree that it does make sense. I do not. Maybe some things changed. Maybe the White House has made a change.
Dude,
the last time Dana talked about Jorge Masvidal, he didn't, not a Dana act, genuinely seemed to have no interest in it. And Jorge's been like pushing to return for close to a year now with zero traction as far as I can tell.
They let him go box Nate. They were just like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, they're like, dude, we're done with you. It's fine. And then he was like, I'm unretiring. I'd like to fight. And Dana was like, I don't care. Yeah, maybe the White House changes it. I could see the White House being the change. But like, there's never been a more obvious, he wants back in, throw him to Leon Edwards. Here's some money. We can make money with this. And they're just like, nah, we're good. So yeah. I don't know.
RS40 at 28. Bonfim is really good. I'm on the train. How about Uros Medic? Is he a player at 170? He's an exciting fighter. I would give him D-Rod.
This fight got me a little more on Bonfim on the train than I was previously. Neither of the Bonfim brothers have really jumped out to me as like super prospects, right? Obviously, Ishmael's might be cooked. He had a really bad week. Let's just say that.
Ishmael, I think his UFC career is over.
Yeah,
that would be my guess.
Might be the end of it. Gabriel's the better one, certainly, of the brothers anyway, and sort of always has been, right? The Nicholas Dalby loss was like, okay, that's a setback. I don't think he beat Stephen Thompson. I know he got the win and good for him.
He lost that fight.
I don't believe he won that fight. Stephen can be tricky. This fight, I don't think Randy Brown's probably top 25 welterweight, right? Like that's sort of his zone. And he was beating Randy Brown's ass. Like he was working him over pretty good. He was going to win that fight, whether he won it when he did, or if Randy Brown had recovered and the fight hadn't been stopped, he was going to win that fight anyway. And he is relatively young. I think his biggest issue is, he is relatively young. There are actually a lot of that person. There are a lot of relatively young, high-end welterweights right now. And, if he has that career trajectory where he just gets better over time, progress is not linear in this sport. If he is one of those guys like a Rafael dos Anjos, like a Charles Oliveira, okay. But like of all the dudes at welterweight, and there are many right now of like younger than 33, he's the lowest on the totem pole. So he's going to have to make leaps and bounds to be a real player.
Yeah, if Gabriel Bonfim wins the UFC welterweight belt, this might be the most workman-like championship ever won in the UFC. Because it's going to take him, years before he gets there.
People do it. It's a hard road. It's a hard road, but if he's one of those guys, that'll be great.
Yeah, Uncle Life did it. Guys have done it. Guys have done it.
What was the other part of that question?
Oh, sorry.
Uros Medic. No. Uros is a classic fun fighter.
He will be welterweight's Nate Landwehr.
Yeah, dude.
Where it is all said and done.
He can stay in the UFC as long as he wants. They will never cut his ass.
Yeah.
Because he has been in 20 fist fights and he has never gone to the judges. He is always a good time. He will win some. He will lose to anybody who's good. Like anybody who is good will beat him. He is not even talented enough to like randomly snipe a win over like a low end good fighter, right? Like
D-Rod I would pick D-Rod comfortably against Uros Medic.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you see this in other weight classes, right? We talk about lightweight being the best weight class. Like you can be a top 40 lightweight and just on a really good night, you can randomly get a dub over like a top 20 lightweight. Like that is the thing that happens. Uros Medic will never do that. Like I'm trying to think right now who's like the 22nd best welterweight in the UFC right now.
I have in my personal rankings right now. Where do I have Uros Medic?
Honestly, straight up, he will just never beat Randy Brown.
I have him at 40. I have him at 42, just behind Jeremiah Wells, who I would pick to beat Uros Medic.
Yeah, he just has no ability to beat somebody like a Randy Brown who has real talent, maybe can't put it all together in some ways or is limited, but he can beat any of, a bunch of middle dudes, and he's fun and exciting and a professional fist fighter. He makes weight. He shows up on time. He doesn't go to the judges. Like this, that's the dude who will be employed forever. Dudes like Uros Medic, those are the guys, like those are the glue guys. In other sports, when people talk about like, yeah, man, like our left guard, he's not going to make a Pro Bowl. Shit, he ain't making an all-star team or anything. But like, we love that dude. He shows up to work and he's played for the Raiders for 12 years just as a solid starting. Like that's the dude you can you don't build a team around him, but you need that guy to build the promotion. Yeah. I have nothing but respect for him.
Nico Price had a great run, being just an exciting dude who can't.
Nico Price is literally the perfect comp. It's the perfect comp, Mike.
Yeah. So, and that's a good place to be. Give him Chuck Buffalo. I don't think he'd beat Chuck Buffalo, but that would be like that could be fun.
Perfect. The fight will be
very fun.
The fight will be a banger.
Perfect. Terrence, is Schnell getting cut? He simped against pay. I don't think he's making a ton.
I think he would be getting cut. I don't know that I didn't see that he simped against pay, whatever. That never helps, but he's lost like 6 of his last 7 fights or something like that. He was probably getting cut anyway. His one win was Jimmy Flick. God love Jimmy Flick. Okay.
I'm going to say as long as he doesn't Here's how, like, if I'm in the UFC boardroom right now, like if on Tuesday they have their matchmaker meeting and they're like, should we keep him? Should we cut him? Should we keep him? Should we cut him? They keep Matt. I think they absolutely keep Match now. Why? Because he's not making a lot of money. He's going to retire soon anyways. And 3, and maybe the most important, Jed, he knows how to get got real good. He knows how to put talent over. Die well. And he dies really well. So I think he sticks around. I don't think I think if he leaves the UFC, it will not be because the UFC hands him a pink slip. It'll be because Matt is like, I'm not fighting anymore. And I'm truly done. Which he tried to do and somehow still ended up back in the UFC. Was like, okay, come back and fight. And there he was again tonight. So if you can get got well, you'll be around for a while. Johnny Hands, CLD has 8 fights in the UFC, 6-2, 5 finishes, but no wiki page. I'm guessing you'd, as a sought-out advisor, I believe he's talking to you, Jed, advise him to start one. How that dumb of his manager to not have already started one.
This is 100% a correct take. I have, like, I could go start my own, like, a Wikipedia page for me, right? Like, there's enough to do that. It would be incredibly vain and stupid for me to do that. It wouldn't influence my career. It would purely be a vanity play so I could say I'm on Wikipedia. He should do it. It's a significant thing to do for his career. He doesn't have to do it himself, but, like, yes, that is 1,000,000,000%. Like, you can't be like, I'm going to wait until a random stranger does it so I'll feel accomplished. No, bro. Like, you need to have a wiki because, like, nobody is going to take you serious. Like, I got to tell you, random fans don't go to Tapology. I love Tapology. I think it's an incredible resource and website. I have nothing to
And it's
praise
getting
for them.
better and better every year.
And they're just getting better. They are great. Random people who are like Wikipedia, Google, like, oh man, I don't know about that dude. Let me Google him. And there's not a wiki to you. Like, that's what people use, and you can do it. You could have it tonight. Like, you could do it tonight. I'm not going to do that for free, but I'll tell you to get somebody to do it, and they could do it. Yeah, man, that it's absolutely ludicrous to not have one.
We know his
do
manager.
it instantly.
We know who his manager is, so he's a Cage Warriors guy. We know who his manager is. How he allows this to happen is unbelievable. Truly, truly unreal. But it is what it is.
It's literally the lowest barrier to entry to something that's not like super important, but tangibly important.
Chase, what is the most enjoyable part of going to fights? Is the atmosphere, the view of the fights, or combination of a bunch of different things?
Atmosphere all day. Your view is going to suck. I've been to a lot of. I've been to a lot of fights.
You're going to watch it on the big screen in the middle of the arena. That's where you're going to watch it most of the time.
Yeah, straight up. Like, I've been to a lot of fights. I've been in the bleeders. I've sat cage side. Sitting cage side is fun if you have the means. I always think that, like, it is a cool thing if you have the means to do it once, because it is a very different experience than you will ever get at home or anywhere else, because you are next to a fist fight. Like, if you've ever seen a fight in real life, it's that. And so you can hear more. Like, punches sound more than they do anywhere else. But it's also the worst view of the fight by far, being cage side, because you are closest to the cage. And so you basically have no good view of almost anything at any point in time. If you're like in the middle, like the lower bowl section, I think that is the worst view of the whole thing, because you have, like, it's a cage, so you're fully impeded and you're just sort of in the vibe. Upper bowls, that's at least kind of interesting. And certainly like a smaller venue, not a UFC necessarily, but like way back in the day, I went to a WEC event, and they're like, certainly regional shows have this too, like in bars or smaller venues where you have like a balcony area, because it's, in a bar. And so the balcony area, you are both close and right on top. So you're just looking down into a cage. Then you actually have a pretty good view. So your view is going to suck anywhere you go. It's all about the energy. It's about the vibe. You are doing a communal experience at a fight. And so, I have been to fights alone. I think it's better to go with a group of friends in general. you can still have fun, and certainly if you are an effervescent personality, you can make friends. People start drinking. If you're rooting for the same dude, things can happen. I've had friendships, or not friendships, but short term things happen that way. But vibe and energy, absolutely the most important thing.
Yeah. I think, and like I said, I believe it was to you earlier, Chase. You just need, I think everyone should go to one. And if you're going to go to that one, like, go big. And then you don't have to do it again. I mean, if you want to, you can. It's your choice. But I think everybody needs to just go once and experience it. And then I think as you get older in life, you will realize, and this is from most people I talk to, they would rather save the $500 to $1,500 or more dollars and watch it at home. And now it's like so much cheaper to watch it at home. So,
yeah, I think again, if you have the means, the floor seats are the actual worst view, because the floor seats at a UFC event it is floor seats. It's like being at your kid's recital. It is just rows of seats. Everybody stands up. You kind of can't see shit. So you're just looking at the screen. But the energy is not the same as the crowd, but that is cool you're more mobile. It's just more of an open space. You can kind of linger around and do stuff. And you can see all the famous people. You can see all the fighters, because their fighters are milling about. Fighters, teammates and stuff that are watching it, they are largely in that sort of area. So you have more interactive opportunities. So if you can do that, I think that's like a fun thing, but it is very different. If you're trying to watch the fights, like if the thing you want to do is watch the fights, I would straight up be like, get in the upper deck. That'll give you the best view.
The only problem with the upper deck is it's the cheapest seats in the house, and you're going to be around a bunch of knuckleheads.
Yeah.
Like the percentages of you not making it to the end of the night because you got thrown out for getting into a fight with a knucklehead, your percentages go up immensely.
It's true. Fights happen in the cheap seats. They don't really happen anywhere else.
Yeah. They ain't going to happen next to fucking Action Bronson. Sitting in the same row as him.
Yeah. People are paying a couple grand for the low seat, the floor seats.
Yeah. And the energy is still going to be good. It's just a little more classy down there. That's all. Just a different kind of energy.
I think every real fight fan should go to at least one just to experience it. But I would not go to events a lot though I go to them at the exact clip I want to, which is a couple of times a year to work them.
Yeah. And I truly hope this happens at some point. And I know we pitched this a billion times on this here channel and other shows and stuff. Like, I wish International Fight Week was bigger than it is. And I don't mean for the UFC, because I know the UFC could sit there and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? We do a fan fest, we do the Hall of Fame and all that stuff. And by the way, I've been to a couple Hall of Fames. No one goes. I mean, truly nobody goes. It's an empty arena, except for maybe a couple hundred people who are just diehard fans or friends and family and stuff like that. So there's no ambiance really to it. But the cool part about the Hall of Fame and working it is you get to do the red carpet and stuff. But I really wish International Fight Week felt like WrestleMania. Like WrestleMania weekend, where every MMA, every weird combat sport event goes out there and does a card in that general area that week. And there's other fan fests where it's not just a UFC fan fest, it's an MMA fan fest. They could do so much more with this. And even the LFAs of the world who are on Fight Pass and have good relationships with the UFC, they could do events at the freaking Apex. MMA fans would much rather go see an LFA card on a Wednesday night of International Fight Week than go to fucking Power Slap on Friday. That's what they want. That's what these people want. And there's just, it's not happening. And it's a little frustrating. December would be a good time too, because they have the MMA awards and there's a lot going on for those December cards. We can, if you do that, you will grow the fan base. You will grow the fan base, not the UFC fan base. You will grow the sports fan base, which if you're the UFC is great for you. It's great because if they start watching these regional cards and start following these fighters at the regional show, who eventually are going to get to the UFC, that only makes their experience of being a fan of the sport longer. I don't understand why the UFC doesn't see it that way. I truly don't get it.
Dude, a million years ago, they did an International Fight Week with 3 events. And we at the time were like, wow, that's kind of a lot. And I think it was incredibly forward thinking, and then they just nerfed it.
Yeah, they just stopped
Dude,
doing it.
you could just be like, all right, it's International Fight Week. You know what International Fight Week is going to be? It's going to be a week of fighting. We're going to do a pay-per-view on Saturday. We're going to do another fight card on Friday. We're going to do 3 contender series that week. And it's going to be, and there's going to be, there's a Hall of Fame on Thursday. We're doing contender series on Monday and Tuesday, or whatever it is. Just, you could blow that out. You could make it the tent pole of the year outside of like being a ostensible, like, oh yes, it's the tent pole event of the year. Of course, you could be like, no, this is the event of the year every year. And I got to tell you, I think that you should do that because I don't know. I'm an idiot. I don't know things, Mike. I'm a very stupid man. I don't think anybody who works for the NFL is like, you know what's stupid? We have one really big event a year. That's pretty dumb, right? Like we should do one a month that people care about. They're like, no, actually, the Super Bowl is a colloquial term for the biggest thing in the goddamn world in the year. It's the Super Bowl of something. You should do that. Follow the playbook written of like these things. Make one event be spectacular in such a way that they do not do.
And guess what they do that whole week? There's something every single day.
Dude, they do the Super Bowl. There's Super Bowl week, and then there's a whole week before it, which is still like kind of Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
Make it major.
The hardcores of the hardcores get 2 weeks of fun.
Honest to God, I know this is a joke, Mike. Hold on. We'll put JB956's comments up right now. I know that this is a joke. I'm not kidding you. Yes. I mean this so sincerely. Yes. Dana White can be like, this is our big event. You know, oh, there are celebrity guest pickers on the desk for whatever. Like they do that shit for College Game Day. Every week, a random celebrity from Nashville or Houston or whatever city they're in guest pick. They could be like, all right, it's International Fight Week. Here's the I mean, they could do this for other cards just for pay-per-views, but like, here's our desk of Michael Chiesa and Kamaru Usman, and joining us to talk about some of the fights, longtime MMA fan. I'm trying to think of just like random super Action Bronson or whatever. Glenn Powell is here. And because this event is so big, our ring car girls are Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney. And like, just make it bombastic to a degree that's hard to reckon with. Like, that's such a better idea than just being like, yeah, it's International Fight Week. Some fights are happening.
Yeah. And people say like we're negative. All Jed and I ask are like, it's just one simple task.
Giving
just
you
try.
Gold.
All you have to do is try. Just try. Put forth an effort, and you do good things. I will say this. I was already pumped for 322. The best thing UFC Vegas 111 did was got me more excited for 322 because the promo videos for the 2 title fights were friggin' great. They were really, really good. So I will give them that. We see where their efforts are. There was no effort for Vegas 111, and at least that's why I call it the go home show. Like, cause you use that event to like promote the pay-per-view that you want people to buy. And typically they don't give you that effort. They certainly did today. Cosmo says, no more negativity. What's your grade for UFC 322 on paper?
Let me look at it one more time, make sure I haven't incorrected. Yeah, this is a 3-star event. This is max stars. 3 Michelin stars, and then this card's exceptional.
Yeah.
I think this is in fact the greatest, on paper, the greatest women's fight ever assembled. I believe that is true. And the main event is the top pound for pound, or depending on who you're asking, the top pound for pound fighter in the sport, attempting to do something historically significant against a brand new champion with a built-in storyline to it. If he wins, you know, suddenly Makhachev is in the 15 greatest fighters who've ever competed conversation. Like it's historically significant. The co-main event is one of the most historically significant fights ever assembled. and everything else that's in support of it is somewhere between hot shit and pretty damn good. Is this full bars?
Yeah, this is about as A as you can get in today's modern UFC. We don't get cards like this very often. Look at the effort they put forth the last couple of years at Madison Square Garden. Brutal. Like, just brutal. This is what it's supposed to be.
This is the best Madison Square Garden card since 205. This is the best one.
Yeah. Yep. I would say that's a great point. And that was the first one. So this is the best. So,
and again,
so you think on paper this is the second best
I
one?
think it's the second best one on paper. And again,
Okay.
it could suck. Like, all these fights could blow because you do never know. But I don't think you can assemble a better card on paper, realistically. Like, 300 is the best card ever assembled, so you could do that. But, like, this is as good as anyone could ever ask for from a fight card, in my opinion.
If I'm judging it based on like excitement levels, this is the most excited I've been for an event. And it's not like one that has to like build up.
The most excited I've been since 300.
Yeah. So, yeah. No notes. Do that. Do more of this. Just do more of this. That's all we ask. It's kind of sad. The best thing about the heavyweight division is the man known as Water. That's how effed up it is. Okay.
I mean, look, you know what Walter Walker's doing? He's making himself stand out. You got to find a way to do it. He's found a way to do it. Good on him.
Yeah. He's doing the thing. Chase, I'm in section 3, row 1 on the floor. I have no clue what to expect. Just going to enjoy that. He's going to 322.
Let's say row 1 is, I mean, that means you're right at the front. So if you're going to be on the floor, that's one of the better place to be. It's a good vibe, man. Just enjoy it. Have as much fun as you can because look, for as much criticism as I will always levy against the UFC for the reasons they deserve it, I believe one of the major reasons they have been as successful as they are is they are the McDonald's of fight promotion, right? Like, a McDonald's burger is never going to be the best thing that you've ever had, but it has a really high floor. I've never been to a UFC event and I was like, I've watched them, but I've never been at one and been like, this super sucked. They're pretty good about creating an atmosphere and a vibe that is at the minimum enjoyable. And for an event like that, there's no way for it to go bad, I don't think.
Yeah. Look, the UFC is going to go all out for this card. Like, they're going to go all out for it. You're going to notice it this week. You're going to experience a difference. And yes, it's the event. Yes, I would assume that the Paramount folk will be out in full effect. Like, this is the one that they're probably looking at, like, okay, we're giving these people $7.7 billion. I'm sure the Paramount execs were watching this event tonight and last week's event and thinking to themselves, plus with the news cycle, thinking, boy, that's a lot of money we're giving them. Are we sure we made the right call? I can assure you the UFC is gonna put their like A+ best effort forward next week. And it would not shock me, as I said, I think Dana, come Monday morning, we're going to wake up from a sleep, you're going to shower, you're going to get ready for work, you're going to make the drive, you're going to pull into your parking space, you're going to go up to your office, sit at the desk, you're going to pull out your phone, open up Instagram, and you will see a message from the UFC. The big boss going live on Instagram later on today. And Dana is going to start the week off with the Ilia Topuria Patty Pimblett announcement for whenever this Paramount card is going to be. They're going to make the negative press go away as quickly as possible. And that is going to be the start of the week. And then the week is just going to be like pretty wild. Like, I think that's what this is going to be like. This is going to be a week where fans who are just like, man, this feels so soulless. And I see it with WWE fans right now. Like, there was a time not that long ago that WWE is so red hot. They were so hot. Like, with the whole Roman Reigns bloodline thing, like, they could not be stopped. And now WWE feels like the UFC feels right now, where they're just overcharging for tickets. People are still going and paying it. But if you watch these WWE shows, nothing happens. Like, nothing. It is the most boring programming ever. And yet they don't care. And then every once in a while they'll try, and you're reminded why you love this sport. And now they work together. It's just one of those things. So yes, it's a very long post show. Way longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, buddy, I told you. I want to be clear. I told you.
But see, now I'm having fun.
That's the thing, because we will have fun with it, and because I could talk for 3 hours on anything.
Here's the other thing. Because this event was so stinky in terms of like memories and like fallout, like normally it's like, oh, we got to end this quick so we can go help out on the post-fight stuff because we got to get those memorable quotes from Gabriel Bonfim.
That is, in fact, like, honest to God, that's the truth. Where it's just like, yeah, we got to finish. We got to wrap the 322 post show because I got to drive home for an hour.
Yeah.
And we have so many things. Like, our 322 post show is going to be like 10 minutes. Like, hey, everybody needs to get picked up from this. We're going to be writing till 6 a.m. So we got to get out of here. With this one, there've been like 4 messages in Slack. Everyone's like, nothing is happening at this post press.
Everyone's like, the rest of our staff is like
they're already
soundly asleep.
Yeah,
they're like soundly asleep. They're sawing logs, and we're here with all of you.
They sent me a message and were like, "Hey, write this thing when you're finished this group thing for tomorrow, and just schedule it. Good night." It's like, okay, cool.
that was like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was like almost an hour ago.
I'm very pumped for 322. I will
322 rocks, man. I'm so excited for that card.
Lies. AK.
Oh, look at him here.
Schninkeldorf. What a name. Lower upper bowl is the move. 192, 199. Elite views from up top.
I mean, in fact, if I was going to go as a fan, yes, I agree. I think because you're getting the most into the cage. You're not close, but it still kind of feels that the setup is actually pretty good for making it feel close. Like you're not like a million miles away. Anywhere you go, you will be watching some screen though. Like it is just part of it.
Yeah, I agree. All right. I think we've done more than enough here.
I concur.
Yeah. AK and I we'll do a little matchmaking tomorrow morning. For on to the next one. That I can assure you, and I'm not even joking, will be a shorter episode. Normally we go like an hour. We ain't going an hour with this one. It just cannot happen. It's a lot of dart throws coming out of on to the next one, for sure. So we'll discuss the fallout from that. We'll get you ready. It's gonna be a lot of UFC 322 stuff. Quick programming note: BTL Tuesday. This week.
You told me that, and I already forgot that was happening.
We're going Tuesday.
You literally told me that. I was like, oh.
We're going Tuesday. The biggest reason why is, as I said on the preview show yesterday, I drove through the night. Yeah, I drove through the night, Thursday night, to Massachusetts, and I will be driving home like Wednesday night into Thursday, back to South Carolina because you got to do watch party on Saturday. So I'll be sleeping Thursday. Like I'll be getting back to South Carolina probably around 7 a.m. and then I'm going to go sleep.
Oh, that's Veterans Day. Huh. Look at us go.
Look at us go.
I put it in my calendar so now I won't forget.
Yes. So Tuesday is when BTL goes down. And then, Jose doesn't have to be a world traveler this time. He can just kind of walk outside his house and go to media day and
plus
press
next week's not as full of stuff next week, which frankly I'm excited about. I didn't really. I think I like that Jake Paul fight more than most, and I wasn't looking forward to having to do that on top of everything else. So, fight week, baby, 322. Can't wait.
Can't wait. Yeah, no Jake Paul, Tank Davis stuff. We'll be all hands on deck for UFC 322, which will be lovely. So yeah, stick with us at MMAfighting.com. It's gonna be a great time. It's a great website. So for Jed, really I am Mike Heck. AK's probably on the comments section somewhere, telling us to wrap this up, and you got it.
85 minutes, baby.
You got it, boss. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Love y'all. My DMs are open, fighters. I promise you, I will in fact help your careers for free.
Call him.